Interesting to see some of the front runners from yesterday there, Jeff. On the inside, we saw Hudson Roper, who was one of our more local riders, had a fall in the first race, which cost him a good result. So he came back to finish second in the 250 class in the final race yesterday. They had two yesterday, but they were both dominated by the number 422 of Charlie Heyman. He won away and clear races 1 and 2. He's up there in about gate pick number 3, just next to Joe Brooks, who had moved up yesterday to challenge Charlie Heyman as best he could, but did slip back a little bit.
Yeah, he had a big tumble actually a couple of weeks ago at Cuss's Gorse, and I think he's riding with knee injury.
Yeah, you can see he's a little bit
tentative. He's not quite there, because he was actually putting it to Heyman a couple of weeks ago at Cuss's Gorse until he had that crash. But he DNF'd that particular race and went out with a bad knee, so I think it's damage limitation for him.
Yeah, he did actually take it to Heyman at Blacksall as well, past him, which we've hardly ever seen this season. So yeah, it is a shame that he's picked up that injury, but we'll see what he can do today. So yeah, Charlie Heyman took both races in the 125s. Tyler Westcott, the number 202, took both races for the 250 class. He leads that championship away and clear at the moment. They line up ready to start this 125 250 race. 5-second board, so heads go down as they all look down to the start gate and prepare to go.
Yeah, this will be a tough one. It's a good start from, looks like, Hudson Roper on the Team Green. Kawasaki there, slotting into second. Was that Walt Beanie maybe? I don't know, but it was definitely Hudson Roper there. Well, he's now dropped back to third, so a couple of the 250 riders, understandably, they have a bit more kind of oomph out of the gate than the 125. It looks like Heyman already away with it, is it? Looks like it.
Not sure. No, Heyman's a bit further back.
Heyman
is right, there in about 6th or 7th there, just flashing by. We didn't quite catch the number there on screen of who is in front. We'll see it here as we go. It's the number 500, Callum Murfitt, the in-form rider on the 250s. He's been coming his way up through, but Joe Brooks takes the race lead as he goes alongside the stretch by the entrance gate. It's Callum Murfitt in second, fending off Hudson Roper for the lead in the 250 class, with Tyler Westcott right behind the pair of them.
Yeah, Westcott's been particularly strong in the 250 class all year. Across all kind of UK championships, so expect him to be right at the front. Saw Jack Taylor in there as well, that's been going good, challenging him, but this will be good then, because Heyman has got a bit of work to do, so we're going to see, not saying he's definitely going to get it done, we might be jumping the gun a bit here, but his form has been exceptional, and if you're going by the form guide, you'd kind of expect him to, well look, he's already making light work of Westcott and Roper, 2 riders in one sitting. Thank you very much.
I had a 2-for-1 sale going on there, and Charlie Heyman filled his basket. He went round the outside of a pair of 250s there around that outside corner, so he is not going to give Joe Brooks a chance to pull away and have an easy one at the front. Heyman up there showed fantastic speed yesterday. You can see them battling through the pack here. Cole McCulloch was impressive yesterday. He finished second in race 2. He's a debut rider in this class, moving up from the big wheel small wheel 85cc class last year. He went through and came through from there. So we've got Wild Beanie also fighting with Tyler Hooley there on the fringes of the top 10.
Yeah, Cole McCulloch, what a move, bypassing effectively the big wheel. Not even just thinking, do you know what? He wants that European dream. He's after the EMX, and he's tall enough, so he's gone straight from small wheel, bang, straight into the 125.
Charlie Heyman looks to move around Callum Murfitt. He goes past the leading 250 rider. We're seeing a replay here, not quite sure what this is on our screens.
No, this is live. This is live. That's
that's live, my mistake, yep. So, yeah, absolutely. Heyman sort of putting pressure on. He's gone around the outside of Callum Murfitt now, looking to attack Joe Brooks for this race lead to make it 3 out of 3 so far this weekend. Murfitt fending off now. Cole McCulloch is challenging. Murfitt the lead 250. Hudson Roper second in that class ahead of Tyler Westcott.
Yeah, we're going back to Cole McCulloch, of course. He lives in Northern Ireland. He's got a Gilligan, basically sand track that he rides all the time. He's exceptionally good in sand. But as I said, he's real young. I think he's only just turned 14, I think, something like that. So, he's pushing on, getting some experience. He'll be already doing EMX 125. But considering that he's moved straight from a small wheel to a 125, and he's already running top 3, future's bright for that kid. If he can stay healthy, he'll go places, no doubt.
Yeah, stunning riding. He's currently attacking Callum Murfitt. It's a position for the track, not necessarily a position that's going to count for points. But McCulloch, he was a great second place in race 2 yesterday. He was 5th in race 1. So, yeah, he's not quite there for the overall, knocking on the door of the podium two riders together as they always seem to find themselves. Tyler Hooley and Ben Musto out on track together there.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. They do. It's like they're joined at the hip, those two. We regularly get a lot of that going on. Riders that are just always kind of fighting each other. Yeah, so you know, you've got those kind of you've got those battles within a race all the time, you know. And do you know what? Some people, they do get hung up on like beating a certain rival. They have like a nemesis. It kind of gets in their head. You know, some riders don't do that, but some other riders will always think, I've got to beat that guy. I've got to beat that guy.
Yeah, McCulloch has beaten this guy. He's just moved past Callum Murphy. So we've got the top three in the 250s all together. Murphy at the number 500, the number 22 of Jack Taylor. Desperate to take a race win in this class. He has been so close and yet to get there. So it is Murphy ahead of... No, it's actually my mistake. Sorry, it's Hudson Roper in second place. Tyler Westcott there in third in the 250s. Sorry, Jack Taylor's further on down the pack. He's actually 11th on track at the moment, about fourth 250. He's got a whole pack of 125s between himself and Westcott as it stands right now. Good scrap going on here.
Well, that's Westcott running the red plate there with a lot of pride. Worked hard to have that, and he's been putting together a stellar year. His last year in the class, he's aged out anyway. I think he's got to move up next year regardless. Yeah,
he just moved past Hudson Roper there and on the section towards the finish line area. So they've cut through the waves now. Westcott moving up to second in the 250 class. Great scrap in there. Hooley and Beanie absolutely together, resurrecting their battles from the Big Wheel 85 class last year, Jeff.
Sorry, I'm just Hooley through those whoops, man. He was just manualing through there. He was trying to get that wheel, not even getting off the ground. Like literally like he's at his local BMX pump track. He was like, come on, get through.
Hooley had a tough day yesterday. He had a crash and broke his silencer yesterday, so he had to pull in there. That was the end of his race in that first one. He came through to a solid 6th in the second moto. Musto's had a problem though. They were together.
Murphy.
Oh dear. Oh, Callum Murphy on the 500, number 500 KTM. It's just stopped.
Well, he just pulled up. No rider error there. Something's gone wrong with the bike. To me, it just looked like it's just nipped up maybe. Just kind of come to a halt. You can't think anything of that. It didn't look like a chain had come off or anything. It looked like it just kind of like, you know, just maybe just nipped up. Yeah, what a blow, because he had, well, whole shot. Well, pretty much whole shot, you know, and he led some laps. Shame for him.
Yeah, he's been in a real run of form, has Callum Murphy. He was on the podium after Blacksall with a 2nd and 7th for 3rd overall. And now we've got Hudson Roper getting some unwanted 125cc attention. James Barker is just behind him. Tyler Hooley has just gone past him. So James Barker, local rider from Yorkshire, trying to make his way forward again.
Yeah, these two as well. They are good buddies, Barker and Hudson. Yeah, they are obviously riding different capacities. So they're actually being scored separately. But trust me, there's no way Hudson Roper will go, do you know what, you're in the 125 class, I'll let you through. Not a prayer. These two will have bragging rights over this one. They definitely want to beat each other, even though effectively they're racing in their separate class.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there, Barker there's definitely an extra bit of body English coming in from James Barker there, trying to attack Hudson Roper. He's moved up nicely, I think, as Barker. He's moved up past Rafe Broadley in that lap 2 challenge. I think Beanie and Hooley have gone past Roper in that lap. But Roper is obviously more concerned with Tyler Westcott. And next along will be Jack Taylor. Barker,
it's just what I said. You know, just rolled the dice that little bit too much. And that's what we were talking about earlier on in the broadcast, how that it's not straight. You're kind of braking and it just keeps going away. And if you're too hard on the brakes and you're offline, that's exactly what happens.
He just hit that graded section of smooth dirt there and the back end just kicked out. So Barker, in his attempts to get past his mate Hudson Roper, has actually just cost himself a lot of time there by sliding out on the
Well, you think you've got a load of space. That's the thing. You think, oh, look, I've got all this space to make a move. Then all of a sudden, it just pinches up on you and you've got nowhere to go. And that's what happened right there.
Yeah, it was hit the brakes or hit the grassy knoll. That was it for there. So, meanwhile, out in front, Joe Brooks is making this a race. Jeff, we've got 3.8 seconds between himself and Heyman at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to have to work some. We can't see him in the foreground, though. Is that... Maybe we need to refresh the timing here because I can't see Joe Brooks. It doesn't look like he was 3 seconds in front on our screen. On what you guys are seeing at home or wherever you are in the world, maybe he is, but we couldn't see him in the foreground. Well, we're going to find out when they come round to the finish line, because obviously all the timing will reset. If you're wondering how we do that, there's a little orange box strapped to the front of their forks called a transponder. There's a wire that goes under the circuit. The minute they go over that, it automatically reprograms, and that lets us know who's leading the race. I think we've lost Brooks.
Yeah, I'm just looking out on the track through the door behind us, and yeah, it looks like I can't see Brooks in front at all. So yeah, Heyman is coming across the finishing line now. And yet there's been a change in that lap just out of our sights there while we're watching the antics of Barker and Roper. And yeah, Heyman has come across the line. Our timing is trying to catch up with it, but I'm just looking out on the track. Cannot see Joe Brooks at all at the moment.
Well, no, I mean, we can't, but even if he was leading, you'd see him.
Yeah, you'd see him, that's right, yeah.
Unless, you know, because he's last time around was nearly 4 seconds in front, but we're trying to get a visual on him. So, although timing is not suggesting that he has gone out of the race, if he hasn't, then sorry, our apologies. We're in a TV truck here with no windows, so we're kind of we can't really see what's going on out on track other than what you guys can see on your screen at home. Yeah, there we go. Now we've refreshed. So it's Heyman, McCulloch. Yeah, Joe Brooks dropping down the leaderboard. So it looks like he might have. I hope he hasn't tweaked that knee or made that knee worse. I think it was like a bit of an ACL, not a full tear, but obviously he's trying to just maximise points. But if he's aggravated that.
Yeah, so it's real savage timing for Joe Brooks, because he really was starting to challenge Charlie Heyman in this series for sheer pace, which we haven't seen from anybody else yet. And yeah, also just noticed out the back door here, Jeff, that Callum Murphy, the rider that stopped on the KTM, has actually resumed on track. He is actually going back around again. So whatever the issue was, it's obviously cleared it, and he's had to Control-Alt-Delete and restart again. But yeah, there's been no sign of James Barker. I've watched him around through most of the lap now, and he hasn't come past the window.
Well, Murphy must have got going pretty quick after we pulled the cameras away from him, because he lost a lot of time, but he still finds himself in third. So I can only assume that is legit. That's not a timing glitch. Yeah. Your lead-in 250 rider is Ty Westcott, your championship leader. But he's not too far ahead of Hudson Roper. To be fair, he's passed Hudson, but Hudson is hanging with him. So Roper, so the two 250 riders, or the top two 250 riders, currently find themselves 4th and 5th in the race. Will Beanie is dropped back down into this youth class in preparation, I believe, or I've been told, to get some more ride time in, more practice for the World Junior Championship.
Yeah, getting used to racing against 125s again for Wild Beanie. He's currently in 3rd place at the moment there. 2nd is McCulloch, and 1st is Heyman in that 125cc class. Tyler Hooley and Barker are there 4th and 5th at the moment. Rafe Broadley 6th. Ollie Colmer is having a rough day again. 2nd in the championship, Ollie Colmer. He only just hanging on to that after yesterday. And yeah, from that sense, Colmer is struggling a bit.
He is. It's not gone his way this weekend. And the last sort of few weeks has been a bit like that for Ollie Colmer on the GRT Impact machine. Here you are now watching the leading 250 rider, Ty Westcott, on that HT8 KTM. And he's been rock solid all year. But you know what? He kind of came into this year as the favourite. We didn't want to dump that pressure on himself. But, you know, choosing riders at the beginning of the year, going on form the last couple of years. And we all kind of knew that this would be Ty's last year. So it was now or never, really. And he's looking good.
Yeah, absolutely solid rider he has been all season. He's only dropped 3 races all year, and that's 2 of those were to Travis Steels, who has moved up to MX2. So the only other one he lost there was to Baylis Uting, the wildcard rider at Blacksall last time out. Sadly not with us this weekend, just not quite making it up here. But yeah, Callum Murphy is now dropping down our order there, Jeff, so the time is catching up with us. So yeah, that does mean Tyler Westcott is by clear the 250 class leader right now. Although just one note with the championship, Joe Brooks dropping out of this race has actually helped Ollie Colmer. He could still hang on the 2nd place, but there's only 15 points between himself and the charging Cole McCulloch. If Brooks doesn't score, McCulloch will definitely move up to the top 3 in the series and could even be knocking on the door of Colmer for 2nd place. In that class, McCulloch is 2nd, Colmer is currently 7th. So that's the difference between 42 and 34 points. 8 points gap is going to half that deficit, which means Cole McCulloch will be chasing after him at the next round at Whitby.
Yeah, and don't forget, Whitby, as we said, we're going to be live streaming the remaining 3 rounds. We're not going to do the youth-only event, I believe, at Warmington Lane, so it'll just be the remaining 3 rounds that have the pros at them.
Yeah, sure.
Really looking forward to that. So it'll be Whitby and wrapping up with Landrake. So if you're enjoying the live stream, where you are in the world, and we do get viewers from all over the world, which is great, like and subscribe. Obviously, just leave your comments or whatever. The fact is, you know what? You're getting it for free.
Absolutely.
You know, yes, there will be, no doubt, I'll make mistakes. I'm sure Ben will as well. You can moan about them as much as you want because you're getting it for free. You didn't even have to pay for it.
Share, and share alike, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so hope you're enjoying the stream here on a beautiful summer's day here in good old Blighty in England. This is we're finally getting a bit of a British summer. It'll probably only last a week. That'll be our summer.
Yes, it's now they've mentioned it, it certainly will. Yeah, commentator skirts, it controls everything. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Ben's got his T-shirt tan already.
I mean, I'm lucky to even be alive after that yesterday. Heyman out there away and clear, 9 seconds ahead now of Cole McCulloch. This is what we saw from Heyman yesterday. He just dances the bike in the sand. Quite an incredible rider in this sort of going there. Got the old school mud guards hand guards going on. And yeah, McCulloch's second. Westcott and Roper are first and second in the 250F category, and this is a nice showing so far as well for Tyler Hooley, who had that rough day yesterday with a DNF and then a sixth. To recover to a fourth is a good one. Ben Musto, who was his main championship rival in the 85s last year, started with him in this race, and he had a good solid day yesterday, Musto, with a second and third, but right now he's showing down in 16th on track. And that is only in 9th in the 125 class, so that could well cost Musto an overall podium spot.
And that'll be a shame because Ben, he's been coming really good the last month. His results have been picking up across the board, across all racing in the UK. Didn't get off to the greatest of starts at Culham, but he's currently trying to work his way up the championship. But there's no doubt in the skill set of Charlie Heyman. It comes to a lot of people's surprise, actually, that Charlie is not racing EMX 125. I think they've just kind of looked at it and thought, you know what, yeah, you know, the expense of travelling, all those kind of things, maybe going to wait until he gets onto a 250 and throw everything at that.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, it's sometimes there is an argument for the case of if you win everything locally, then you move abroad there. I think we've seen in the case of some of the riders that tried to move up a little bit too optimistically, move up the class a little bit, jumping the gun, and yeah, I think Charlie and his advisors obviously are concentrating on not doing that and making sure that he gets the maximum out, and you've got to say that it's working. He's away and clear in this one, as he has been through most of the races where he hasn't had trouble this year. Now McCulloch has dropped back on circuit behind Westcott, so not sure if he's had an issue there, but yeah, Westcott making it nice and simple for us. We've got the 125 leader and the 250 leader out in front, 1 and 2 in this one. Yeah,
that makes it a little bit easier to understand. So just to reiterate that, you've got the same age as kids in this class, or say young men, but as we said, they're kind of separated, 125 and 250. The leading 125 racer is Charlie Heyman on that SJP Moto machine, and he is leading the race and the 125 category. Your leading 250 rider currently sits in second, and that's Tyler Westcott on the 88 KTM. Cole McCulloch, I think he's just picked McCulloch off with just raw speed. I don't think Cole has made any kind of mistake. I think Tyler's race lap times have just seen him catch and pass McCulloch, but still another great ride from young McCulloch. Obviously so much heritage in that family. Phil, his dad, used to be a 125 GP racer, and the guys over in Northern Ireland, the sport over there just is all things motorcycling in Northern Ireland, bizarrely, just seems to have a bit more attention than we do in mainland UK. So the Northern Irish riders definitely getting behind British motocross, and it's great to have young Cole McCulloch racing the series.
Yeah, absolutely, and he is definitely going to move past Joe Brooks, I think, in the series. Oh, you certainly get, yeah, definitely, because he's only 7 points behind, and Joe Brooks is official. He's out of the race at the moment. He's definitely pulled in, gone there after completing just 3 laps, I think it was. So yeah, McCulloch's definitely going to move up in the series. It's going to be very tight for the overall as well. So we'll see how that works out here. It all depends on the progress of Ben Musto, who has currently moved back up to 8th in the class, and he is only about a second shy of James Barker, which would be another position there in the actual 125cc category. So we'll see how Musto makes his progress as we go through here. The timings on the screen are a little bit shy of what we can see here, but we are getting there with that. But yes, no doubt about the first overall. as holy over-revved and heavy landing on that one. That was a little bit painful there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, he didn't miss a shift. He just kind of like didn't quite get his body weight right on that one. Top Water Home might have just jarred his ancestors a bit, but keep him going. One thing I will say, obviously, the track layout here for a 125 is particularly fast and flowing. In many ways, the lads on the 125s will love that. You can just you've got to keep a 125 lit anyway, keep the RPMs up. But there's a lot of fast flowing corners and a lot of long straights, so the guys will just be absolutely wringing the neck of those 125s, and I love that.
I had a particular aversion to 125s. I think a 125 was partially responsible. So my reaction to the 125 was partially responsible for me for the big crash that was kind of saw the end of my racing days. And I was like, he just did my head in. It just massive distraction. I went over the bars, and that was that.
See, I loved 125, so I got off them too soon, really. But there we go. I wish I'd stayed on a bit longer. But they are brilliant. But of course, you know, modern technology now with 4 strokes are unreal. This is tightening up a great battle here. Look at this, he's coming back at Barker. Is that Barker in front of him again?
It's Barker and Ollie Comer in front of him
look,
as well.
Hudson Roper again, look. And Barker going, no way, you're not doing me. You know. And there's Musto as well. Look at Musto through the rollers. What a move.
Stunning. Straight past Hudson Roper through the rollers. And we've got all 3 125s here together. This is Ollie Comer, championship chaser. Let's not forget, he is right up there in the standings, but he's having a rough weekend. And now he's going to get a hassle from James Barker and the charging Ben Musto, who's recovered from a crash. We didn't see it, but he certainly fell back the order from a good start early on, and now he's looking to recover and trying to hang on to what should be a podium result. If he does make a couple of passes here, then one to watch there, 163. Ben Musto could right be back in contention for the podium positions.
Yeah, and just rounding out the top 10, you've got Rafe Broadley there on the AC United Gas. Obviously, I saw the results yesterday, wasn't here. He had a bad first race yesterday, didn't he? Did something happen to him in the opening moto, if you remember?
Yes, Rafe did struggle, yes. We didn't quite see what happened.
Yeah.
I think that it wasn't a first corner, but I think it was a first lap incident. And he definitely was a no score and then was 8th in race 2.
Well, I know of late he's really been suffering with arm pump. It's just suddenly become a thing over the last month. He can't get to the bottom of it. He doesn't know why, or his bike set up, or he's trying too hard. So maybe he had that going on yesterday morning in that first race.
Quite possible, yeah. It just didn't figure at all in the final results there. But here we go, all 3 together. It's a great scrap as they go along the motorway section. It's got Comer ahead of Barker, ahead of Musto. They are all 3 together on the track.
Have to say, I think it looks to me, body language anyway, that Comer's starting to look just a little bit fatigued. He's not like up on the pegs like he normally would be. I know he's a lanky lad. And it tends to sit down a little bit, but you can tell how much they're sort of, just closing in on him. They've all started to pinch up. Yeah. Just doesn't look so sharp as the 2 riders behind him at the minute. He's got
a very languid style though. He is that sort of way. He sort of sits bolt upright on the like you could draw a 90-degree line off. I don't know why I'm making hand motions here. No one can hear me. You can see me, but yeah. But yeah,
I can. I appreciate it.
But yeah, it literally is like to right angles to the seat. That seems to be how he rides. But yeah, he always looks a little bit.
Well, he's a tall lad. He's like, well, to me, he's about 8 foot tall when I'm looking up at him. But then, like I said, I'm.
No, he's 5'2", man.
Yeah. In fact, it was a guy like that was stood in front of me in the gig last night, driving me mental.
There's always one, but it's usually me. Right, there's Musto is absolutely all over the case of James Barker here. It's giving him more pressure than Boris Johnson's had this week. He's really giving it all over him. There's this one. I told somebody I'd drop that in. That's a good one there. Musto going for it. Very close to Barker here. He's just jumped alongside him. Barker fends him off.
Yeah, he just had to hang it up there, the lines. Good riding from Ben, because if he'd have committed to that, that could have been messy.
Yes.
Their lines would have crossed in the air. So he knows he's got a bit of time. We have got 34 seconds until the 1 lap board comes out, or 2 lap, not sure. Did the guys get 2 laps or 1 lap?
It's 1 lap for this class, 20 laps plus 1 lap. So it depends where Heyman is on track.
Yeah.
Actually, just looking out my window, Heyman's just gone past it. So I think
it might be 2 to go then.
Yeah, Heyman will make them do another lap as far as I can tell. So yeah, we'll see how that goes now.
Yeah, we think 2 to go then if he just missed the 1 lap board. Never mind that though, he's long gone out in front.
Barker through on Comer. Great run alongside the motorway section there. Musto looks to take advantage of the confusion as well. But it is Barker now moving past Comer. That's the best way to fend off Musto. Past the other guy in front of you. Look at these 3 scrapping it out here. This is a battle for in class 4th, 5th and 6th.
This is
6th and 7th.
Absolutely awesome. That was a real kind of power move from
Awesome.
Barker. He ran it in there and he did not yield, and he kind of just squeezed him enough. Fair move. Musto now going up the inside of Coleman. As I said, I thought Ollie was starting to just look a little bit fatigued or something, and these two have been putting pressure on, and they finally...
Coleman giving Musto a bit of attention there, a bit of a love tap, but Musto squeezed him out, held him off, and Musto sets his sights immediately on Barker.
Well, I've got to say, Ben Musto is the rider of 3 that's carrying the momentum. Oh, the checkered flag's out. So
there we
go.
go. Behind on our timings. That was the last lap. Our apologies here. Didn't quite catch that. So Barker held off Musto for 5th in class. Charlie Heyman took the race win. Cole McCulloch 2nd. Wild Beanie 3rd. Tyler Hooley is there in 4th place. Barker, Musto and Coleman finished like that. And then Broadley, Bennett, Liam Bennett and Dan Arkle ran up top 10.
See, Ben, that's what I love about motocross, right? This is what I'm going to tell you right now, okay? You never see a motocross race where there's not some proper race action going on somewhere. You can watch an hour and a half of Formula One, nothing happens sometimes, apart from nice girls in the pits that you get a close-up on. Here, in a motocross race, no matter if a leader's gone away of it, you'll find a battle somewhere out on track. That was absolutely brilliant. Let's see who Brad can find down there once we get the cue from him. You can see Musto there just having a quick word. Justin Morris, his coach, just walking by, give him a little pat on the shoulder. It was a solid ride. He looks a little bit out of breath and spent. It's already very hot here. But that was a great ride from the 125 and 250 class. As I said, we're just panning around. Brad Wheeler, our roaming reporter, presenter, is down there. He's going to give them at least a moment. So let's go down to Brad and see who he's got.
Ty Westcott, 3 for 3 on the weekend so far in the 250 class. Not quite managed to take the checker flag yourself, but still a good points haul.
Yeah, it was a good race. I didn't have the best start and I struggled a bit on the first couple laps, but managed to get into a bit more of a flow, then started catching Charlie, but they weren't quite enough at the end, but still P1 in my group, so it was good.
Obviously, the track crews tried to get a bit more water down sort of overnight and this morning. Is it much different than yesterday?
I think it's pretty similar. It's like quite square edgy and stuff, and I think it's going to dry out quick, but it's tough out there with the heat as well, but yeah.
Still a good solid result, and best of luck in the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, we've got the final small wheel 85 race, where Hayden Statt has been the guy to beat, and all the parties behind him are chasing him. They're going to look to try